All right. Good morning, everybody. Early morning crypto talk on a Monday morning. This is October 1st, the beginning of the new year. Some of you will get that. 3 months left in 2018. 90 days. We are ready to run. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. What's going on, Mafoose? Shauna Ross. Bethany Gibbs. LaShayna Robinson. Ray Fountain. Welcome, welcome. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, and share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. Now, there's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest in money that you cannot afford to lose. Number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? And that's fitting because today's October 1st. 3 months from now is the end of the year. 6 months from now, end of the first quarter 2019, a year from now. Make a decision, find a vehicle that's going to take you where you want to be, and stay focused, and do not get distracted. There's so many things out there that can distract you in this space. You can't be a part of everything. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. What's going on? Court Gomez, Terry Moreno, see Bethany Gibbs, Anthony Pinkston, Sharon Landry, aloha. Terry from the IE, I will be in the IE later today. I have a meeting at 11 in Moreno Valley, Riverside. All right, so let's go ahead and kick things off here. I got to turn on the screen share. All right, what do I want to talk about first? Yeah, I'll talk about this one. And give me another second here. If you guys missed last night, I did a special crypto talk, called it the New Year's resolution. Then you want to go back and do that. And I watched it again, and I kind of went off track. I actually didn't hit some of the main points I wanted to, but I'll cover that again at the end of the year. But we gave some good information, some things to look forward to, what we're going to be working on for the rest of this year and going into 2019 to prepare for it. So you should be able to see my screen. Danske Bank's $235 billion money laundering tops entire cryptocurrency market cap. Now, the reason why this caught my attention is that whenever you hear critics talk about Bitcoin and crypto, one of the first things they say is criminal activity, money laundering, crime, drugs, terrorists, ISIS, and all that crap. When it's already been proven that 0.5% of all crypto transactions has anything to do with anything illegal. 0.5%. Yet they want to act like it's so widespread that it's going to be the downfall of everybody. So what is the current market cap right now? $220 billion for the entire crypto market cap. Only 0.5% is dealing with illegal activity. 0.5%. Yet, Danske Bank is admitting to $235 billion money laundering. That's more than the entire crypto market cap. So let me put this here for you guys. All right, let's see what the article has to say. Danske Bank, the Danish lender at the center of a giant Russian money laundering scandal. Russia's in it again. Illegitimately processed more cash than the entire cryptocurrency market cap combined. The astonishing figure, noted on social media by Morgan Creek digital founder and partner Anthony Pompliano, this weekend comes as the true extent of the banking sector's latest revelation remains unknown. Danske laundered a reported $235 billion through just one of its branches, just one, in Estonia over an 8-year period, according to claims. This week, the bank appointed an interim CEO in the form of its current Danish operations head, Jesper Nielsen, after abruptly firing extant boss Thomas Borgen. Commenting on Twitter, Pompliano appeared to suggest the episode should give renewed faith to cryptocurrency investors, subdued by criticism of the industry or sustained low prices. That's true. Reminder, a single bank location at one bank laundered more money than the entire market cap of cryptocurrencies. He wrote, long Bitcoin, short the bankers. At press time, the combined cryptocurrency market cap totaled $223 billion, slightly down on previous levels seen over the past few days. Danske had meanwhile taken a highly hawkish stance on cryptocurrency. Before the laundering scandal broke, a dedicated statement implored by customers not to invest in the industry at all. Most importantly, the lack of transparency and regulatory control have made cryptocurrencies a target for criminal purposes, and we know that they on several occasions have been involved in criminal transactions like money laundering or extortion. Really? That's what the bank said about crypto. And then they turn around and it's just one of their banks, just one, had more money laundering than the entire cryptocurrency market cap in the entire world. Pots and kettles. Watch who you're listening to. As a financial institution, we have an obligation to assist in the fight against financial crime and money laundering. At the current stage, cryptocurrencies do not offer the sufficient level of transparency in order for us to live up to our obligations with anti-money laundering regulation. Really? Yeah, you just did. The one, man, these guys, it's like you want to come kind of slap them sometimes. The hypocrisy of the bank's views is nothing new. Rabobank, the Dutch lender which found itself at the center of a money laundering scandal involving operations on California, had gone as far as to refuse accounts to Bitcoin businesses. This, it said, was down to compliance risks. So on the one hand, you've got the banks thumbing their nose at crypto saying, oh, it's money laundering, not enough regulation. And on the other hand, they're doing more money laundering than the entire crypto market cap combined in just one of its branches. I mean, what are their other branches doing? Are we to believe that this branch is the only one? I highly doubt that. Because you got to know how banks work and bank managers. And if one bank manager has figured something out, you better believe the other banks are going to be doing the same freaking thing. They think they can get away with it. This is crazy here. This is why education is so important, so that you're able to see through the BS. When you see them make a statement like, oh, yeah, money laundering and crypto, really? This is why people don't trust the banks. And if you still trust the banks, that's shame on you. 2008? Yeah, okay, you got us on that one. We learned our lesson. But if you're still running around thinking cash is king, and that the best place to put your money is in a savings account, where this bank just laundered hundreds of billions of dollars from one branch, and you still want to trust that system, it's on you. That's crazy. All right, let's go to what next article do I want to talk to? London? No. No, not that yet. That's late night crypto talk. Here we go. 36% of total Bitcoin in circulation lost, and 23% held by speculators. I had this talk with somebody yesterday when he was saying, so Bitcoin is finite. I said, yeah, only 21 million will ever be created. But that doesn't mean there's going to be 21 million in the market. Say what? Yeah, that doesn't mean that. You're going to have coins that will never be in circulation. You're going to have coins that might even be lost, never to be recovered again. All those early coins from the early days, from the miners, a lot of those coins are lost. So just 36% of the total Bitcoin is in circulation, in circulation lost. 36% have been lost. 23% are held by people that's never going to sell it. So 2 research firms have released convincing data on the state of the top coin, Bitcoin. A report from Chainalysis reveals that 36% of BTC in circulation is lost, likely lost, or unmined. Speculators hold 22%, while a steady number of 30% are investors. A few months ago, Chainalysis revealed news about the BTC money supply. They found that long-term investors sold around $24 billion of Bitcoin to new speculators between December 2017 and April 2018. And half of the selling happened during December. When those who once held a financial product sell, the price falls and can do so dramatically, which we saw earlier this year. However, the latest finding that includes data through August tells us that Bitcoin investors and speculators have held their money over the summer. Chainalysis seemed to be mirroring tactics and methodology employed by the Federal Reserve, the U.S. central bank. The Federal Reserve, researchers noted, for example, tracked various measures of U.S. dollar money supply and other relationships with important economic variables, including GDP growth and inflation. Chainalysis explains, for emerging financial systems such as the crypto economy, building an understanding of the underlying economic signals is a key factor in empowering participants to make more informed decisions. People are simply less likely to stay in and are less well served by a market that appears random and based on hype. If we can identify and monitor clear signals, and those signals are logical, more people will feel comfortable investing. That's where data can play a role. And that's true. Chainalysis updated data shows that the market is getting more stable regarding each of the monetary aggregates. They have all been steady over the summer months, and especially the amount of BTC held for speculation has remained stable between May and August at around 22% of available Bitcoins. The same is seen when looking at the amount held by investors. It has remained stable around 30%. Furthermore, they argue that it is a sign that the market is less sensitive to hype, where news cannot push Bitcoin price up or down in the same manner as before. Chainalysis concludes, on an up note, as such, the first challenge of adoption, getting cryptocurrency into people's hands, has been overcome, but we are now waiting to see what the next stage of adoption looks like. Bitcoin holds 51.2% of the market's total cap, according to coinmarketcap.com, and the total market cap for all coins hovers around 222 billion. So here's another reason why speculators are believing that the price of crypto is going to skyrocket. You already only have 21 billion that will ever be created. 21 million. That means there's 36 million billionaires and millionaires around the world. If every single millionaire and billionaire wanted to own just one Bitcoin, there's not enough to go around. This is why I tell everybody now, you want to have at least one Bitcoin that you own and stash it away. Act like you don't even have it. Put it in a cold storage or whatever, because it's going to be a status symbol later on. And it gets even worse than that. If there's only 21 million that will ever be in existence, but experts are saying there's probably only going to be 7 to 8 million in circulation. So now you've got the entire world fighting over about 8 million Bitcoin. So when you have high demand, what happens to the price? It skyrockets. Skyrockets. And Ivan, that's an interesting statement. I don't believe in virtual money investment no more. Don't know what you mean by that, but hey, go run back to the banks. You have trust in the banks. The world is moving to virtual money investment. This is the beginning stages. You're cutting loose before the rocket even takes off. Got to pull the microscope back a bit. Follow where the trends are going. All right, let's go up to Ripple. And I talked about this yesterday, but this is another article talking about Ripple. And I'm starting to see a pattern here. I'm starting to see a concerted effort from multiple sources to put Ripple on the map. Where are they at right now? 22.2 billion. So it's 1 billion less than Ethereum, but they're down by 6%. The entire market's in the red right now. All right, so let's go about Ripple. Ripple to take lead in new coalition lobbying for pro-crypto government oversight. Advocates to be paid in crypto. Now, for the record, because I remember the article I read yesterday, I agree with everything that they're doing. The problem I have is who's behind it. I don't trust who's behind it. It's the Ripple people. But I do agree with what they're doing. A new coalition of tech startups is launching a lobbying campaign to try and convince lawmakers to regulate in a pro-crypto manner and wants to pay these advocates cryptocurrency for doing it. A group of tech firms from Silicon Valley was wondering when Silicon Valley would finally wake up, have banded together to form a business coalition with the purpose of lobbying for a favorable stance on crypto, as institutions like the SEC are in the process of deciding how to pursue legislation on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. The group, which most notably includes the third biggest cryptocurrency, Ripple, as well as a number of other startups, have styled themselves the Securing America's Internet of Value Coalition and have been engaging with the Klein-Johnson Group, a bipartisan lobby group, in order to achieve their objectives. And what are these exactly? Generally convincing regulators that this is an industry which needs government support and regulation which will encourage growth and innovation rather than restrict it. It will aim to foster the idea that global crypto networks are a valuable and potentially lucrative ecosystem rather than a dangerous digital Wild West. Chris Larson, executive chairman of Ripple, gave his thoughts on the subject to Bloomberg. We understand this is really complicated and there is a lot of misinformation out there. The good news is there is a lot of interest in this topic in DC. I agree with that. The coalition will work in partnership with Klein-Johnson to promote to Congress, the SEC, and the IRS the benefits and potential of the crypto industry. I agree, it's about time. As has been evident through saga regarding the Bitcoin ETF, as well as hesitancy over deciding the status of Bitcoin and Ethereum, eventually classed as not securities. There are many concerns about crypto from America's regulatory bodies over investors' protection and market volatility. However, if all goes to plan, these concerns will be laid to rest by the efforts of the coalition. Incidentally, the preliminary agreement between the Klein-Johnson Group and the coalition stipulates reimbursement for the lobby firm will be in the form of $25,000 per month stipend, as well as 10,000 XRP. This crypto bonus is included because Larson reportedly feels better when advocates have some skin in the game. I agree with that. Didn't I just talk about that last night for New Year's resolution? You're going to work with us. You got to have some skin in the game. It's either going to come in sweat work, meaning your hustle, or pulling out your pocketbook. This, let's see, it gives them some upside and gives them some risk. Hopefully it gives them a taste of the industry in a way that hits home. I agree with that because how many times do we see reports from people from colleges and researchers and economists all want to have something to say about crypto and they own none of it. They've never traded it. They've never bought and sold. They don't know how it works. Someone asked, what are my credentials? Well, there is no Bitcoin degree yet, but I have a master's degree so far, working on a PhD in the school of learning on my own, trial and error, and experience. I've made money. I've lost money. That's my education. Rather than sitting in a classroom looking at reports all day and not actually dealing with the market and dealing with people. You have no skin in the game. The other startups which make up the coalition include Coil, Hard Yaka, and PolySign, which focus on digital payments, crypto investments, and custody, respectively. Whilst the thought of an imminent decision on the regulation of crypto may have those in the industry waiting on tenterhooks, regulatory clarity will doubtless, someone's calling me from New York, regulatory clarity will doubtless be a welcome move in any event. Crypto's lack of clarity before the law limits its potential to grow. The bulk of investors want to be sure the product they are putting their money into won't turn out to be in violation of the law a couple of months down the line. So Ripple itself received a fine of $450,000 back in 2015 for disputed mis-selling of its token without registering with the U.S. Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, a significant blow to a young company. The status of its product and whether or not it was a security was at the center of this row. However, if Ripple and company are able to successfully convince DC lawmakers over the coming weeks and months, crypto may become radically clearer space to do business in. In other words, what they're saying is, we don't want you guys in Congress. I think we're starting to see this lobbying work because congressmen wrote a letter to the SEC and said, look, you guys need to clear this up ASAP. We don't want our businesses to learn what the law is when you decide to prosecute them for something. How are they supposed to know what to do We should not be knowing what the law is based on you deciding who you're going to prosecute. That's what happened to Ripple. There was no clear thing. Then they say, oh, what you're doing is illegal. You got to pay $450,000. Come up with a clear, definitive regulation, what it is, definition, and then get out of the freaking way so we can go to work. Let the business do what they need to do. Other nations are getting way out of the way. Even Russian President Vladimir Putin, he gave an order, even though he said, I suggest. When he suggests something, that means they better do it or they might end up disappearing. But he gave an order, said, banks, get out of the way of crypto. Do not be in the way of it. Do not impede it. And that's exactly what they're doing over there. Turkey, next, Germany. China's funny because China's banning everything crypto, yet they're leading the world for their blockchain stuff and doing it all in Africa. Japan, South Korea, Australia, the entire government of Australia is being supported by J.P. Morgan, which is funny. I got an article I'm going to read tonight about J.P. Morgan saying crypto can't be stopped. Just a year ago, the CEO of J.P. Morgan said that everything Bitcoin and crypto is a fraud, is a scam. Somebody's going to die over it. I'm going to fire anybody in the company who trades on it. Look at them now, a year later. They're backing an entire country on it. So, all right, that is the news for this morning. This is the beginning of a new quarter, beginning of a new week. And let me say this. Since this is the beginning, I'm going to end by saying this on a Monday morning. Because there's still a lot of people out there that are clueless. And I don't fault them for not being exposed. I have a problem with the people that are exposed and still do nothing. But at least I know you had your shot. But can you imagine that there is life better than this? Waking up on an early Monday morning before the sun comes up. To rush off into rush hour traffic, to go to a job you don't like, to work with people you can't stand, to eat lunch at 12 when you're hungry at 11, to ask for permission to go to the bathroom as if you are a child, to do this for 40 years of your life if you're lucky enough to stay on the same job without getting fired or laid off, where you're going to retire broke depending on family, government, and friends by the age of 65. And that's a government statistic, 97%. The government's answer to this is increase the retirement age to 72. Which means that most people, when they retire, they're going to die within 2 years. No more 401k, no more pension, no more savings. Your house is a liability, not an asset, because most of the people don't actually own the home they live in. $800 a month on Social Security is a joke. What, are you going to become a Walmart greeter? My generation, the Generation X, is the first generation that has a lower quality standard of life than our parents. And it's going to be on my generation's backs to not only support ourselves, but we need to support our parents, the baby boomers, and our children, millennials and the next one below them. We're supporting 3 generations on our backs. And there is a way out. And that way out is cryptocurrency. There is absolutely no barrier of entry in crypto. All you need is to have a cell phone, internet access, and a willingness to learn. And if you're looking to get in on this for the very first time, it doesn't matter what your background is or how busy you are. Get educated first. That is what I represent. An education company that is going to give you all the basics and that you need to be just a little bit dangerous in the crypto space. To get involved just a little bit. Because here's a sad fact. It is not my opinion that cryptocurrency represents the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most people. But most people don't know what's going on. That blockchain technology represents the greatest invention mankind has seen since the introduction of agriculture. It's going to fundamentally change everything in the world that most people don't know about until they wake up and they drive around and start seeing a Bitcoin ATM machine everywhere. They're going to pull up into Starbucks and realize that they can pay their Starbucks with Bitcoin. They're going to go to their job and their boss is going to say, you need a Bitcoin wallet because we're now paying you in crypto. Your opinion or participation is irrelevant. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. So if you want to survive or even thrive the rest of this century, this is stuff you need to know. It is necessity, not a luxury. You can choose to get involved now and profit from it, or you can wait until it's dropped on top of your head and you become a consumer of it. The choice is yours. What do you do to get out of that? Pull $300 out of your pocket and send me a message and I'll show you how to get started. $300? Yeah, there's a cost to this. $300. I was able to flip 30 into 6 figures. But I was educated first. So with that, I will see you all later on tonight. Late night crypto talk, Bitcoin Brandon. I think I might cover this article here. Fewer than 1% of Pornhub users are paying with crypto. Yeah, I save all the sex talk for late night crypto. So I'll give you a warning. If you are sensitive to the topic of sex, don't log on tonight. All right, everybody, have a great day. Bitcoin Brandon out. God bless. Bye-bye.